This is Rosalind Driscoll. She is a sculptor who encourages people to touch her artwork. She feels that it enriches their experience of a piece. One of the things Rosalind loves is when people play with her work. And
see no, hear no, speak no evil.
Over here we have some beautiful dolls by Belinda Lyon-Zucker. She has some ancestors in South Carolina and went to study doll making that are influenced by the African culture. The things that an African American has experienced in the last 2-3 generations. For Coloreds Only, member of the NAACP, and then of course the poster, Yes We Did, when Obama won. And over here we have Diane Savino. She's also an artist curator, and this triptych piece is with ruby glass. She went to Connecticut to get this glass, but what I love of what Diane does is how she mixes medias and plays off of a very traditional technique. Egg tempera comes from the Renaissance or even earlier. One of the things that has always intrigued me about Karen Dalmanish's work is the spiritual aspect to it. The circles have been a recurrent theme in her work, and she uses found objects such as riverstone and sea glass and stones to make these mandalas. And when we talked about her doing an installation for this show, she requested that it be near light. And one of the wonderful aspects of this installation that she has done is that when the light comes through the windows, it plays off the work on the walls and has these graceful shadows. And in this installation, she has put in a linear aspect that I have not seen previously in her work on the wall. More of this curvy, dance-like pieces that reflect for me her movement in her performance pieces. One of the other wonderful things about Karen's work is that she uses her body as part of the work. She does these performance pieces reacting to the environment, her work, the light, water, air. First
business meeting that I went to as a member of Gallery A3 in Amherst met here because Bruce Fowler, the owner, one of the owners of this building, wanted to show us the space. And we got a tour of this whole gutted building, a lot of cleaning up and removing huge, heavy things, but it's a fabulous, huge space.
But they have kept some beautiful pieces. There's these huge, big fans upstairs, and there are some details in this building that they're referring to as building art, which I love because it does give it a whole other artistic look to it.
Absolutely. There are plenty of things here that can be considered art that were part of the building.
Spend a lot of time in the studio sitting quietly, patiently doing very realistic still lifes, portraits, landscapes. And on the other hand, I do photographs, but this is the first time I've exhibited them. Reflections, you can see lots of reflections. That's a van we rented in around the Canadian Rockies, and it's reflecting the bed and breakfast. The bed and breakfast, we stayed in a brick wall. Here's the wheel of the car, the fender. This is the door. I don't know what the hell that is.
That's the start of your window, your near side window.
I guess it's on the window, and this is a little flower box. Started a whole series of square paintings, 1 foot by 1 foot. Starting 9 of them for a show.
So what other objects are you going to do?
Okay, I
besides
also have an egg, and I have a bagel, and then I have a lot of square things with just the background, and I don't know what I'm going to do. But
Are they all edible round things?
all edible round things.
Raised bees grown up. So honey, and honey I think is like a life source. It has such a quality to it, and it moves and it's silky, and it just is a very
The light
interesting,
catches it in beautiful ways.
Yeah, it's an interesting material to use. And all 6 is actually, if you can, it has a fetus type form to it. There's human elements to it, even though it's not a non-human.
Does this have honey?
So this is honey. This is a latex balloon, and so I blow it up. I put the casing inside, and I put honey inside of that, tie it all up, and then wait a couple weeks.
I really feel this is, a belly with the belly button sticking out, and almost that feeling of like the baby pushing, even though obviously it wouldn't look like that, but it gives you the feeling of the baby really pushing the belly out.
Yeah.
Here's the baby giving a kick, and
Yeah,
then the belly button's
or
going
like-
out even further.
Baby yoga.
piece in front of me is by Rosalind Driscoll. It is one of her more recent pieces. She has now started working with neon and rawhide. The interplay between the light and this natural material, there's sort of a quiet, meditative, sensuous feeling to this work. When I was installing this space, I originally had Alphonse Wunzo's chickens on the floor, and when I originally had viewed the work, I didn't realize it had flashing, rotating red lights, and I felt that when it was on the floor, it overpowered Rosalind's work. So I moved it up to what I call the chicken coop, which I feel that it works much better in this space. This piece is Rabbit Girl by Cynthia Constantino. This was one of the pieces I brought from New York, and I felt it was especially poignant when I added the Wonderland show. This was one of the pivotal pieces that I wanted to include in this exhibition. This series from a different perspective, and so I started painting all of the pieces of people from their knees down, and I said, my God, what is going on here? And then I realized I was the dog. And do you know that I found out at the opening that the dog that played Toto in Oz was also named Terry, and after the movie, it took, so I could be the reincarnation of Terry. We have Holly Murray here, who did these beautiful mixed media works on paper. She plays off of the life of a bee in this series. And then we have Sandy Litchfield, who uses airbrush with her painting, and I love the push and pull with the work. It's like it comes into focus and then it fades out. This is Deidre Shear's work, and in my opinion, she paints with fabric and thread. Her stitching really becomes this linear element in her work. This is work by Ann Burton. She's a sculptor, printmaker, and in this piece, not only did she do a monoprint, but she sandblasted the outside glass so that you have several layers of viewing. And this is a technique that she's just recently incorporated with her work and is now planning to buy a sandblaster so she can do more of this kind of layered and multimedia work. Over here is Liz Chalfin's work. She is the founder and director of the space and has created a wonderful non-toxic studio. This is Moringi's work. She is a unique artist who takes a part of our Americana and gives it new life. She has taken shattered glass, which she paints and then grouts it to give these everyday utilitarian vacuum cleaner and other appliances a new life. She is definitely a pioneering woman. This work is by Rachel Hankinson. She is originally from Great Britain and studied in India, and obviously this has influenced her art. What is wonderful and unusual about this piece, besides being the Madonna and the figures from Indian religion. If you'd like some further information about this exhibit, please check our website. It was a pleasure sharing this exhibit with you. Thanks.